One of my students has already made over £10,000 from a single book since he started my coaching program just over 6 months ago. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how he did it. So before I go into that, here's just evidence of this book that I'm referring to. You can see it was published around April 2024 and has made over £10,000 in royalties in that time. And crucially, his most recent screenshot, which is in September, he made just over £4,500 in a single month from one Amazon KDP book that he made less than 6 months ago. And anyone who knows a lot about Amazon KDP will know that going into Q4, this book is literally going to do 5 figures a month for the next few months. And for all the haters that are saying this is a fake screenshot, here is literally a snippet from our WhatsApp chat of him literally sending me the pictures of this progress. And as you can see, I've said that's an easy £30,000 Q4 for him because honestly, it will be. And I can't wait to see this in January, just how much he has made from this one book alone. And for everyone saying, oh, what about his ad spend? Well, that's just over £2,800. So he's easily still making over £8,000 profit from this book. And when you just launch a book, that's when your ad spend has to be the most aggressive. His profit margins with his ads are only going to scale over time. So honestly, he's going to make an absolute fortune from this book. So now the bit that I'm sure you're really interested in, and here's exactly how he did it. I'm going to break it down into 4 steps. Firstly, the niche, then the strategy, then the launch, and then finally the growth. So all of these add up together to explain exactly how he achieved a result like this. But first, there is one key reason why he was able to do all of this in the first place. And that is because he invested in himself. He wanted to make money from Amazon KDP, so he paid to learn from someone who has done exactly that. You can either try doing this all on yourself and spend thousands of hours learning exactly how the process works, or you can invest in a coaching program like the one I have and learn all of these things from someone that's already gone and done it themselves, which saves you so much time and allows you to be super focused on exactly what works with Amazon KDP. Now, forgive me because this is just self-promo at this point, but this is evidence that what I teach in my coaching program genuinely does work. So if you do want to check that out, I will leave a link to my accelerator program at the top of the description of this video. And for those of you who don't want to invest in the accelerator program just yet, I do obviously have my free course, which is also on YouTube. But if you really want to get results like this, you need to be investing into your education and learning from someone like myself who has actually gone and done it. But going into all of those details that I mentioned earlier, let's start off with the niche. Now, of course, I'm not just going to tell you the niche that he's in because that's not fair on him. He's put in the work to find this niche, but I'm going to talk you through what this niche looked like so you can kind of see it within other ones when you're doing your research. So a lot of people think you need to be publishing in a niche with absolutely no competition. But this book was actually published in a niche with around 5 competitors and 3 that had a UK BSR of less than 100,000, or i.e. they were selling pretty well. But there was one, what I call a niche winner, with a BSR of under 10,000. So within this niche, there were some that were doing well, but there was one standout book that was the best in the niche, and it had a sub 10,000 BSR in the UK. But despite this book being the best in the niche, it was actually a very average book in terms of quality, so there was definitely opportunity to move into the niche and take its place. So like I say, the best niches on Amazon don't need to be the ones with absolutely no competition. Sometimes competition can be good because it does sometimes lead the way and shows that there is potential. So when there's a book that's selling well and its quality really isn't that great, this is when you know you're onto a winner, because there are books that pretty average quality is already selling a lot of units and you know you can produce a significantly better product. You're going to make way more than that initial book. You just have to take its place. And that moves on nicely to the strategy that was used. So this isn't rocket science. He literally looked at the best-selling book in the niche and thought, how can I make this better? And there's 2 main ways that you can do that. Firstly, through the book cover. He made it cleaner, he made it easier to read, and generally a much nicer looking product. And then secondly, the book interior was also improved. So this was a coloring book, but not only did he make the coloring pages better, he also added in extra activities. Amazon KDP is a business where you can make a completely bespoke product. You don't have to be caged into either doing a coloring book or a word search book or whatever. You can mix and match lots of different things as long as you're providing a better quality product at the end of it. That is the key thing, and that is exactly what this guy's done. And shock, he's not a graphic designer by any means, but he realized there was a potential here, so figured out exactly how he could bring this really high quality book to market without being an expert himself. So he utilized AI and also outsourcing. So he used Midjourney to do the bulk of the work for his cover, then added some touches in Canva. And for his book interior, he literally outsourced all of the coloring and activities for someone on Fiverr for less than £100. So he technically hardly even did any work on this book. And of course, things like niche research, strategies like this, how to effectively outsource are all things that I cover in my accelerator program that I mentioned at the start of this video. So now moving on to the third part, which is the launch. The goal of his book launch was an aggressive use of Amazon ads to maximize the initial exposure of his book. Initially, your book isn't going to rank for the keywords you want it to because it's just been listed on Amazon. So using ads is an extremely important way of doing this because you can literally pay to be shown to your ideal customer. You can get all of these keywords that you want your book to be shown for and then literally show up first for any of these. And then over time, you will begin to rank for these keywords organically once Amazon recognizes that it's a good place to put your book. So for the first 2 months, this book ran at a slight loss overall because yes, it was making sales, but it was also spending a lot on ads to aggressively rank as quickly as he possibly could. But like I say, he crucially got a lot of sales off the back of these ads, which not only boosted his organic ranking and overall exposure, but it also got him some really important ad data. And because he was making sales from these ads, Amazon realized it was a good product and started pushing it organically for him. And the key thing here is that he played the long game. He was prepared to take a slight hit at the start because he understood the value of getting those ads out aggressively, getting all of that ad data, getting those initial sales, increasing your organic book rank, and over time, he's only ever gonna make his ads more efficient because A, his book is selling well organically, and B, he has all of this data showing you exactly what he should do with his ads. But that should emphasize how important it is to play the long game. This has never been a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to be an overnight success. And then finally, the growth. So once he had that successful book launch, how has he began to grow it into the stage where it is now making just under £5,000 in a single month outside of Q4? So after 2 months, his book was selling well organically, and he also had, like I say, a lot of ad data to use for optimization. More specifically, he could see exactly what products and keywords weren't performing well, and then just literally stop targeting against them with his ads. And alternatively, he could see which ones were performing well and then double down on those. So let's just say he has 2 keywords in his Amazon ad campaign. One is spending a lot of money but not making him any sales, and the other one is spending money but also making him a lot of sales. Because he has all the data of exactly which keywords aren't driving him any sales, he can then just take these keywords out of his ad and start spending all of his money on the keywords that are making money. So over time, your profitability is only ever going to increase because you're doubling down on what works. And that is how you scale your book sales to 5 figures a month. So like I say, after 2 months, his book was selling incredibly well organically now, and his ad spend was only going down as he was now only spending money on targets that he knew converted into sales. And for the last 3 months, his book has been sat at less than 300 BSR, which means it's been in the top 300 best-selling books on the whole of Amazon UK for the last 3 months. And honestly, going into Q4, that is only going to improve, and he is honestly going to make so much money over the next few months because he's implemented the stuff that he's learned from someone that has already done it themselves. So as I mentioned, this book will go on to do an easy £30,000 in Q4, and I can't wait to make a video just like this in the new year showing that that exactly has happened. And if you want to have the same success with your Amazon KDP book, then everything that I've just touched on in this video, I go into a lot more detail in my self-publishing accelerator program, which I will leave linked down below in the description. Hopefully this has shown you just how much you can get back from investing in yourself and learning from a program like this. But for those of you who aren't quite ready to invest in that just yet, I do have my full 3.5-hour completely free Amazon KDP course on YouTube, which I will also leave linked below down in the description. This will get you started and help you find your feet with Amazon KDP. So I hope you found that useful, and hopefully this inspired you as well to start making more sales on Amazon KDP. If you have any questions about anything I've covered in this video, then please do let me know, and also join my free Amazon KDP community, which will be linked down below this video as well.